He goes, I had a question from a client this week. Why can't I get this out of my head? I'm just thinking about this one situation so much. It was a work-related issue. And so I thought I would share a few thoughts about thoughts, a few of my thoughts around thoughts. And we can't choose our thoughts. Contrary to what some people believe, we cannot choose what pops into our head. We can choose our environment, we can choose what we're exposed to, we can choose how we react. We can't choose what pops into our head. Now, some of the boffins, I read a study from Stanford University, some of the boffins seem to think that we have upwards of 60,000 thoughts a day, and of those 60,000, 80% are negative and around 80 to 90% are recurring. That's an incredible amount of negative thoughts. But here's the kicker. We do get to choose which thoughts we engage with. We do get to choose how we respond and how we react to our thoughts. And just because there's a thought, that doesn't necessarily have to, there doesn't have to be a connection between the thought and action. You don't have to act on every single thought that you have. In fact, it would be pretty disastrous if we did, but considering how many of them are negative. The analogy I like to use is, imagine, incidentally, I hate shopping, so this analogy is perfect for me. Imagine going into the shopping mall on a busy Saturday. You go into a shopping mall and there's a lot of shops, but there's also a lot of people. Now, imagine not just going into every shop that's there, but trying to talk to every single individual that's in there. It would be completely overwhelming, completely impossible. But what if you were like me and you just wanted to go straight in, get done what you wanted to get done, and get out as fast as possible? So you engage with the thoughts that you want to engage with and don't feed the other ones. A little bit like bad smells, just let them drift through. Some stay around for a little bit longer and let them drift away. And do so without judgment. Do so with curiosity. So you become an investigator, a thought investigator, not a thought judge. And a thought investigator is somebody who says, oh, I wonder why I'm thinking that. I wonder where that comes from. That's interesting. That's happened again. And you ponder it. You ponder the thought. You ponder the location of the thought. You ponder the reason behind the thought. But you're not necessarily feeding the thought itself. So I think we've all been there. I call it going down the rabbit hole. So we've all been there where we have maybe an issue at work and we think, oh, geez, this situation's really bad. I might lose my job. Well, if I lose my job, how am I going to pay my bills? If I can't pay my bills, then how long have I got that I can survive without money? Okay, right. Well, what happens if I don't get a job? I'll be out on the street. And before we know it, we've gone from our boss sending us an email saying, can you pop in at 10 o'clock tomorrow? We've gone from an email about that all the way through to I'm out on the street. and I think we've all been there. But the bottom line is that we do get to choose how we react to these different thoughts. And a couple of different tactics that you can use is one of them is called balancing the books. If we're going to go down that negative rabbit hole, then it's only right and it's only correct that we balance the books and we go super positive. So if you're out on the street and that's the point that you've ended up because of that one negative thought, there's your opportunity to challenge your emotional brain, your negative thinking, and say, hang on a minute. Well, what's the polar opposite of that? What's the potential that this could be amazing? And say, well, my boss could be calling me in to give me a pay rise. He could be calling me in for, to give me some praise because I work super hard on one of these projects. He could be calling me in for absolutely anything, but go super big and say, oh, my boss is going to give me a pay rise. This is amazing. And you're creating a scenario that it's almost like a gratitude practice that squashes that negative thinking and it balances the books. The reality is that neither of those things exist, and that we don't really know what the boss is calling us in for unless there's something going on, either good or bad, and you do have an inclination around that. But the point is that balancing the books is a really, really significant and important way to do it, and you can do that quite quickly as well. So it's choosing the way in which you react to your thoughts. The word there is choice or choosing. And we can always choose. We can't choose what pops into our head, but we can choose how we react to each of these situations. If you're enjoying some of these videos and this content, then please do subscribe and like, and also give me a shout if you want to talk about any of these things a little bit further. If you've got any questions as well, then fire them out to me. I'll be happy to field them.